Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you. And today I actually want to cover the importance of getting blood work when you're using steroids or PEDs, and really just in general in life, but this video is more catered towards the reasoning behind testing it frequently while using any sort of performance-enhancing drugs. But before we get into that, just a big shout out and thank you to anybody out there watching and supporting the channel. I cannot thank you enough. If you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Any interaction with the channel is helping the channel to grow, and it's going to allow me to produce more and more content for you each and every day. Now, today's video is sponsored by letsgetchecked.com. LetsGetChecked.com specializes in at-home blood testing. So all you have to do, go to the website, check out their catalog of tests. They have it all for men and women, from hormonal, wellness, sexual health. Pick out whatever you want, order the tests. They're going to ship you your kits in the mail. All you have to do is get online, register the kits, then ship them back your sample. You're going to get results extremely fast. They're going to notify you by email. They've got doctors and nurses there around the clock to answer any questions or concerns that you might have. So check them out. LetsGetChecked.com. Coupon code Gemelli30 is going to save you 30% off your entire order. So, all right, let's talk about blood work. Now, I've spoken about this before, not nearly as in depth probably as I'm going to go today, and while this may not be the longest video ever, it's going to go really into detail, into explanation as to why this is so vital and important. Now, anytime that you are coming to the conclusion or the decision that you want to use a performance-enhancing drugs, steroids, SARMs, peptides, I would even do it with something like nootropics or anything like that. You could even do it with supplements. And the reason is, and I'm not saying you have to go freak out with certain supplements, but you can in terms of blood work testing, not freaking out about it. If you use anything like that foreign substance and you start to have certain reactions, if you do not have a baseline of blood work results, we don't have anything to compare it to. So if you come to me and say, I'm having this symptom and that symptom and this symptom, and I go, okay, let's go get your blood work done and see, where you're at. But I would have had no idea how you started off, what your set of markers and circumstances were before you actually started. So I can't give you, honestly, an accurate assessment of just how much or how bad this may or may not have affected you. Because let's say that you take testosterone 400 milligrams and all of a sudden 3-4 weeks in you're starting to feel itchy nipples or see some swelling there, and you come back and get your blood work done. Your estradiol is, let's say it's 51, where it needs to be in that you really ideally want to be in the lower to mid 30 range, top level, even though that chart will show you like 40, 41. But let's say you're out of range. But I don't know where you were at before you started. So I can't tell you just how much something's affecting you or not, because I don't know. Just like if you go in and you get your ALT and AST tested, which is liver values for anybody that doesn't know, and they're heavily elevated. But what if they were already kind of elevated beforehand? And you could use that in terms of having lower testosterone. I don't know what your levels are when they start. So the importance of pre-cycle blood work is imperative. It has to be done because you have to provide a baseline, because if you do not have the baseline, any accurate assessment is not accurate anymore. It's all hypothesis or just me throwing out a random guess, which is dangerous in itself. Because let's just say, for instance, there's a lot of symptoms that are similar with different aspects of side effects that are possible. And you could come to somebody like me or somebody else, whoever that you're asking advice, somebody else on YouTube, doctor, whoever. If we don't have anything to base this off of and we're just going on a symptom, well, a symptom could have multiple reasons for occurring. And if we guess the wrong reason, you could mistreat something and actually make it far, far worse than it already was. So these are things that you have to keep in mind as well. Now, you have to also think about mid-cycle blood work, because especially when you're new to this, especially because you don't have any sort of concept or understanding of your body's actual response. you could say, well, I think I might be estrogen prone, or well, I think I might be prone to this or that. But you don't know just to what extent or how much, if you're just basing it off a symptom or how you feel. And I put that in quotations, like how you feel, because how you feel cannot be a full and accurate assessment of what your blood work shows. I've had people that have had severe issues on blood work that the side effects didn't show. And then I've had people that started to have strange side effects, but the blood work wasn't showing it. So it had to be attributed to something else. And so it's important to be as accurate as you can for your overall health in general, because there's so many areas and facets that could be misinterpreted, misread, misdiagnosed without accurate blood work numbers. So we said you need to get that baseline with your pre-cycle blood work. Then, as I just said, you've got to have mid-cycle blood work. And then I think the rather obvious one is that you have to have post-cycle blood work. And I think that would be fairly obvious to most, that is there to see how you may or may not be recovering. So, you run your post-cycle therapy 4 to 6 weeks, depending upon your cycle. Bigger, longer cycles, you're probably going to run a 6-week PCT. I don't recommend those often because you don't see me recommended longer cycles. I used to do things like that. I used to tell people, go 16 weeks here with that. The older I got and the more I understood and the more I was around, that's why I don't recommend those. So you don't see me recommend a lot of 6-week PCTs. There's a few exceptions, just like there is to anything else. But just in general, in totality, I'm really, really not on board with cycles over 12 weeks. There's very, very few instances. So, but you may be running a little bit longer cycle. Then, obviously, you need to give that PCT some time to work. So I would generally, my recommendation is 4 to 6 weeks after you finish your PCT, you go in and get your post-cycle blood work so you can see how things are going. Was that PCT good? Were my products good? Do I need to make this change, that change, etc.? How did my body respond to this? How am I recovering? These are all extremely, extremely important. Now, some people will say to me, there's no way that you do this or you have people do this. That's way too much. How is it? I guess how is it too much? Like, blood work is simple to get done. I understand some people don't have insurance, but it's even just as easy to do it without. There's so many options online to order testings. I do it with my spot, but I'm not going to go shill out here. There's plenty of places that you can go do that with. There's all sorts of different online options to get blood work done. That's how I went through forever until I got really good health insurance. I never went to any doctors. I just ordered it online. Now especially after COVID happened, there's all sorts of different options about doing it at home. Like, that's why I love the sponsor of this channel, because I'm on board with that because I had to do it for so long. But there's a lot of different online options. And so my point in saying that is there's no excuse. If you have the insurance, you just go to your doctor and say, I need a full hormonal panel. They ask you why, you tell them whatever the hell you want. It's none of their business. Whatever that you're asking for, you got the insurance, you're paying for it. It is what it is. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, which I totally understand, because I still don't always go to the doctor for blood work, even with good insurance, because, it's private shit. And so there's no excuse for not doing it. It's not that difficult. If you want to run cycles and do things right and think about your health, your longevity, and everything else, this is simple stuff that has to be done to protect yourself. That's all I'm trying to do. Shit, like I always say, do whatever you want. I'm just telling you the reasoning on why it's so important, and I feel that it should be kind of common sense what I explained. But just in case that it's not, I feel like I gave you a pretty good breakdown of the importance of that and as to why. So it's always on you. Make your own decisions. It's your body. It's your life. Do whatever you want to do. My goal here is to just try to reach as many people as I can to help them understand the methodologies that I have found to be the safest and most effective over time. That's it. So you always do you. You make your own decisions. And remember, that I am just here to simply guide and help through experiences. So that being said, stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli, signing off.